Take 4. All right, welcome back. Today we're doing a 3-dimensional sculpture, and this is on Alberto Giacometti. And it's a tall, skinny sculptures if you see them in the book. And yours doesn't have to be that skinny, but that's how he did his. And in your art sack, you're gonna have pipe cleaners. Now, we did not color select them by what we thought your favorite colors were. Some of them are all bent up and twisted. Some of you maybe even got some short little cut ones. That's okay, because what we're doing is we're covering it all up with tin foil anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you have perfect pipe cleaners or not, okay? So don't worry about that. There are more than one way to do this, so we'll try to show you how to make it. In the actual instruction packet, it shows you where you take it and fold it in half and try and twist it, and then they put a ball of the tin foil right inside there, and it doesn't take a whole lot for that ball. I would just take a strip of tin foil like this, wad it up like that, so, and then I would just maybe even put one more around that just to help smooth out some of those rough edges, and that would be enough tin foil. So this isn't a real large project when we get it done, and it depends on, you can also do it so that you can do a dog or some type of animal, you can do children, you can do adults, so that's up to you. And then here's my first one, and I'm twisting it around there like they said. Now, I find that's kind of difficult to do, but maybe you're more talented at it than I am, okay? Because it might pop through. So if that's the case, don't worry about it, but just take another piece of tin foil right away. And notice how we cut these up. So in your art sack, or in the box inside your art sack, you're going to have sheets of tin foil. They will cut easily with your scissor. Don't use your mom's good scissors. Use the scissors that we provided for you, because tin foil can kind of dull a scissors blade. All right, so then I'm just gonna wrap that head right away, just so that I don't lose that off of the pipe cleaner. So that's what I do with mine. And if you wanna do it differently, that's fine. Now, I can use these for the arms, I can use this for the body. I can twist this like this. So you're gonna kind of come up with your own way of creating your character. And if you want your character to have more of a belly, maybe you can find a tissue or a paper towel or something to put in here if you want your character to have not be such a stick figure. So if here's a tissue, I can stick this in here, and then I can wrap that with tin foil, and then it will have a bigger body to it, and unless you want it to be the skinny look, okay? And again, wrap that a little bit with the tin foil, and then I'll still come back and I'll add my arms, but I just want to keep that from falling out. Whoops, it's a little bit slippery, just got away from me there. And you just wrap that up like that. You could even do some sketches in your sketchbook for this first, of what maybe you think you want it to look like, especially if you're wanting to do an animal versus a person, what that might look like. Don't forget about, like, how do you add shoulders? So here, and you can cut the pipe cleaners in half if you want to. You can twist that on to make this get for the arms, and then I'm going to bend this down. They still might not be long enough, so like this one's longer than this one, so I can probably even add that with tin foil. Sorry guys, technology is ringing. So that's up to you. Here's one that I did that's more finished. Now, I used, and you guys will have this in your box as well, is I have this putty, or it's not really putty, it's actually clay. It's a type of clay that has oil mixed into it, so it never really dries out, but you don't want to get this caught in your carpet because it will never really come out completely either. It doesn't dry like mud, like the clay that we used when we've done other projects, and so then you can use that for the feet, and that gives it just a little more weight so it's less tippy. You want to show them what you're working on?
Well, these are my sketches, guys, that I made. I made a few different ones, and I chose to do something like this. Put a little movement in him. So now I'm going to put the clay on my feet, right? So you can just take a little bit, stick it on there. And then wrap tip foil around the whole thing, right?
Yeah, and they'll kind of flatten out too, as you kind of make it stand up. So you can start with the ball and then flatten it just by pressing it on the table. There. And you have a couple sheets of tin foil, and it will probably take most of that to get it wrapped, because a lot of times you get like this type of thing happening where it's not wanting to stay. You could also take a little drop of glue and just, if it's coming loose, put a drop of glue underneath there, and that should kind of help hold that on too. Or ask, don't just take, ask if you have any extra tin foil in the house. Maybe you could use a little bit more to help you out with your project too. Okay?
So you want the whole thing covered in tin foil, right?
Yes, you shouldn't see the pipe cleaner at all when you're done, and it should be able to stand. So you're gonna have to work on balance, like if you have your body too far forward or too far back, you might have to adjust the legs somehow so that the character will still stand. And that's where if you do like a dog or a dinosaur or something like that, or a cat, it might be a little easier because you have more legs to work with to get it to stand up. You'll just have to use less of your clay that way. And so mine's still a little wobbly.
So if you wanted to, you could color this, right? You think you could color it?
Well, I think you could do different things to it. You could take like a little bit of paint and cover it that way, or you could just take a piece of this tin foil and go over it with a marker. I'm not sure it would work with the color crayons, but I know that you can put some on, but if you notice, it also kind of wants to bead up. So it might do that, but that's actually kind of a crazy texture, kind of like what it does to that.
You probably just have to let it dry for a while, huh?
Right, yeah, because otherwise it's gonna get, if you touch it now when it's still wet like that, it is gonna get all over you. And again, make sure you probably use like a newspaper or something down if you decide to color it some way. You can also color it after it's all put together too, and add a little bit of color to it if you choose to do that. It won't fill it in completely, but will give it kind of a metallic look to it if you start adding a little bit of marker to it. Now you have some markers, but you don't have a whole set of markers unless you have more available to you at home. You could also add a little bit of paint to it, but again, just kind of limit how much paint you use, and you probably won't have a lot of paint left at this point from your kit, so just keep that in mind, what you might have available to you.
And when is this due?
Oh, this one is on a very special day. This is on May 4th, my birthday, which, by the way, we want to know when your birthdays are. So if you could also let us know when your birthday are, we'll give you a shout out on your special day.
And then how do you turn this in again, Miss I?
Oh, remember, we take a picture of it. You can do this with your Chromebook or a phone or computer, whichever way that works for you. And then you're going to go to the Google Classroom. And when you get to the Google
Probably
Classroom,
should put our name by it
oh
when
yeah,
we take the picture,
yeah.
right?
So yeah, it's gonna be a little harder to like put your name on this one. Maybe you could take the bottom foot
And write
and
Andy
write-
on it, like in Toy Story.
right, or just your initials maybe too would be fine. So take your picture. You know, you can also have props. Like maybe if I'm having struggles with this one to stand, maybe I'll make it sitting and make a little chair out of something for it to sit on.
And then
Okay?
you could put the name in the hands.
Yeah, and it could actually hold my name, like a little tag or a sign. So have some fun with it, and make sure you turn it in. It is due May 4th, and that's it. Have a good day.